magical. Riley, you good?
I'm good.
Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome down to Sol Gittleman Park on the campus of Tufts University for Game 1 of a 3-game series between the Tufts University Jumbos and the Bantams of Trinity College. I'm Jordan Burke, joined alongside by Riley Daniel. Riley, game number 1, and perhaps the most important of all of the games, is this will dictate how many wins Tufts needs to receive tomorrow in order to keep their winning or even NESCAC season streak alive.
Yeah, they have not had a losing NESCAC season since 2012. They come in to this series 4-5 in the NESCAC on a 4-game NESCAC losing streak, all of which happened last weekend. That means, for those of you doing math at home, they need to win 2 out of the 3 games here against the Bantams. So if they can get a win today, they only need to split the 7-9 inning doubleheader tomorrow. If they can't get a win today, they would have to sweep that doubleheader. So a big, big game. This series will likely determine a lot of the seeding for the NESCAC East, because this is a very bunched up division with the exception of Colby at the top. Trinity comes in at 3-3, Bowdoin's at 2-2, Jumbos are at 4-5. That's 3 teams within a half game of each other. Everything is still to play for. Jumbos with a sweep could easily wind up in second. If they get swept, they could wind up out of the playoffs.
Yeah, a lot on the line in terms of NESCAC play. Remember, NESCAC is separated into 2 divisions, the East and the West. All of the teams that Tufts has played this year in the East, including Trinity, who they face today. I believe it's 5 teams in the East, 4 make the playoffs. Same deal with those from the West. So as we see, Tufts taking their infield. I can throw up a graphic for you guys showing Tufts in their defensive alignment alongside the batting order that Trinity is sending out today. For the Bantams, it's all the usual suspects. If you look at the stat sheet, you see all the qualified batters, as well as the 2 highest at-bats on the season for those last 2 guys on the stat sheet. But it's Stein, Schnitzer, Meth, Frayne, Sawyer, Bernstein, Ryan, Matthews, and Gaudio. We'll see Griffin on the mound, the lefty, come the bottom of the inning. And for Tufts' defensive alignment, again, basically the same thing that they've gone with all year, except with a slight change. Cooper Smith, who we previously saw as the right fielder, has shifted his way over to left field now that Malachi Pena has cemented himself into that right fielder's spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's that, and I think there's also the factor that we'll get to when the Jumbos come up to bat, and that's AJ Lisco, who's not great defensively, has been hitting a better bat of late, gets put in the lineup today, and so they needed someone, Pena, to play right field instead of DHing today, and therefore moved Smith to left to give him some ABs today.
With today being a 9-inning game and one of the games tomorrow being 7 innings, you expect that 7-inning game to be a bullpen game. Tufts goes to their ace in the rotation, Silas Reed.
Yeah, Silas has been really good, had a quality start, gave his team the lead going into the 7th against Colby last Saturday. They could not hold on, and 2 weekends ago in that what turned out to be an away series here at Gittleman, had a 17 strikeout performance in a 7-inning game against Bates.
Graphic on your screen right now is the Tufts starting lineup as well as the Trinity defensive alignment. We can take a look back to that later as things get underway. Reed's first pitch fouled back by Stein.
Yeah, and that's one thing I love about Silas Reed. Not one to mess around. He will go right after hitters.
Aiden Stein has played in 25 of the Bantam games, started 24. Comes into today with a .358 batting average, .945 OPS, 2 triples, 5 doubles, yet to go yards, 16 RBIs among the top of the. Oop, that ball's fair. Thought that was foul at first, but a grounder over to Flavin. He'll step on first, and that's out number 1.
You and me both. Connor Flavin so casual there, as if waiting to see, and then decided, all right, I better play this. It's going to stay fair. Easy as you like, 1 down.
Left fielder number 16, Dylan Schnitzer.
Dylan Schnitzer, now the batter, playing left field today.
Yeah, Schnitzer's had himself a real good season here, hitting with a .998 OPS, which is quite impressive, along with his .400 batting average. Leads the team in hits and doubles, so someone who not just has the ability to get on base, but has a little bit of gap power.
Had 1-0 in the count. Takes a swing, fouls back.
Reed's definitely got the velocity early on here.
Schnitzer takes outside, ball 2.
Great location there from Silas Reed.
Schnitzer on the year, 18 strikeouts, just 2 off from the lead of the Bantams. That ball hit hard through the right side. Flavin could not extend over enough to grab that one. Schnitzer taking that 400 batting average, knocking it up a couple of points.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just experience right there. It's very easy, especially when you're looking for that pitch, to try and pull it. Schnitzer instead keeps his hands back, just kind of flicks that ball into right field, uses the speed of the velocity of the pitch to really just send it into the gap, doesn't try and do too much with it.
Power hitter Sean Meth, now the batter for the Bantams, leads the team with 4 home runs, as well as 6 doubles to add to those extra base count.
Also leads the team in RBIs with 26.
Of course, last year, if we look back to some of the games played between the Bantams and the Jumbos, across the last 2 years, really, Meth has always been that guy who comes into the game leading the Bantams in home runs, and you have to always pitch around carefully when there's runners on, because he's got the power to carry one all the way out there. 2-0, fouled back.
Yeah, Schnitzer taking a nice-sized lead out there. Reed's got to be careful. Just maybe want to think about at least giving him a look. Keep him honest.
Schnitzer does have 8 stolen base attempts on the season, 5 of them successful. Two-one, fouled right into the dugout.
Look
Number
out.
of Bantams thrown their arms over their heads on that one.
Meth went headhunting there.
Someone needs to remind the Bantams to check the game settings and turn friendly fire off. Pickoff attempt. Tag not made. Just letting Schnitzer know, I remember that you're there. Don't get greedy.
That's good there from Silas. Doesn't need to try to do too much. Just keep him honest.
2-2, high. Count runs full.
Yeah, Meth only only 7 walks on the year, so not a particularly patient hitter, though has been hit by 5 pitches. But that one just too far out of the zone to really get him to contest it.
7 walks to 15 strikeouts. So the odds say he'll go down swinging. Chopper, Fleischer not going to have a move at second, but throw to first in time. Schnitzer will advance for the cost of out number 2.
Yeah, and a little bit slow to deliver there with Silas Reed. Allowed Schnitzer to get a good jump. Didn't really give Fleischer a play, and uses his experience, makes the simple play to get the runner at first, 2 down.
William Frayne will be the cleanup hitter for Trinity. Comes in today with a .411 batting average, 2 home runs, 4 triples, 6 doubles. So, yeah, you give him a pitch to hit, and ball more than likely is going to the outfield.
Yeah, .633 slugging percentage, so he just knows how to find the barrel of the ball and do damage with it.
Behind 0-1, Whitfield doing well to keep that ball down in front of him.
Definitely looked like it had a lot of horizontal movement there. Started in like it was going to hit Frayne, ended up in the lefty batter's box. Haven't seen a ton of off speed so far from Silas Reed.
1-1. Swung on top of and grounded foul. Couldn't quite see the face of the man in blue who picked that ball up, but made a clean barehanded play. So props to that guy.
Indeed.
1-2. Frayne gets under this one. This one hit sky high, but Pena has room. Settles under it, and that's out number 3.
Yeah, and I think that just shows you Frayne's true power. That ball off the bat looked like it was going to end up being comfortably caught by the second baseman, Jesse McCullough. In the end, it ended up about 10 steps in front of the wall, caught by Malachi Pena.
The hit from Schnitzer leaves him stranded on second base as the top of the first comes to a close. Now we'll see lefty on the mound, Griffin for the Bantams. Can already see from some of these warm-up pitches. He has more of that lefty whip-around type of emotion. See, pause for a half second and then hard throw across for the fastball velocity. Very akin to what we see from Gavin Brown when he takes the mound for Tufts.
Yeah, and as a hitter with that sort of motion, the way that he holds for that extra half second and then comes real quick makes it really hard to pick up the ball, and especially when he's putting spin, as we're seeing him throw a little bit of a curve here in warm-ups. It's hard to pick up spin when you have that like tenth of a second less to see the ball out of the pitcher's hand.
We'll see how the Jumbo's lineup manages to tackle this. They have somewhat overloaded the lineup when with right-handed bats. Lisco, the only left-handed bat in today. Makes sense going up against a lefty.
It did, and it can pay off. It can also backfire. We saw that happen a little bit last week in the first game against Colby when Svagdis went with the entire righty lineup, and then when he needed righties to pinch hit late in the game, didn't have any on the bench.
In terms of the Bantam pitching staff, as the throw down from the catcher Ryan goes over the head of Matthews at short. Griffin, statistically, the ace for Trinity this year. He leads the starting pitchers in terms of inning pitched and batting average against. However, all the ERAs are very similar, around the mid-5 number. So it'll be very interesting to see how that sort of plays out. You know, high ERAs but low batting average against usually indicates a lot of extra base hits, bringing in runners.
Yeah, I mean, not a horrible batting average against, as you mentioned. Has had a good number of strikeouts. Been prone to walking batters, 15 walks in 38 innings. And then interesting for Griffin is that he kind of does it all. I mean, as you mentioned, is a starter, has started 6 out of 7 games, but was thrown in to save a game, one of only 2 saves the Bantams have had on the year in his only relief appearance.
The third baseman, Solomon, leads things off for Tufts. Going to be called out on 3 after a long pause. Solomon does not like that call, does not like the time it took to rule him out on strikes. But 3 pitches, 3 strikes.
Well, I think there are 2 factors there. One, I was kind of questioning Solomon's decision to take the pitch because it looked pretty good. But I think he does have a legitimate complaint that the umpire waited a good 5 seconds before calling strike 3.
Yeah, it looked like he was getting ready to settle into the box to see pitch number 4 by the time that he got punched out. Henry Fleckner going to hit this one hard up the middle. No chance to be made defensively. 1 pitch, 1 swing, and Fleckner's on first.
Yeah, Henry Fleckner kind of has that Josie Steinberg mentality where if he sees a pitch, he's not going to give you pitch number 2.
Fleckner came into today batting .363 to lead Tufts. Of course, also leads Tufts in terms of stolen bases. 11 successful on 16 attempts. Perhaps always my favorite stat to look at when it comes to the Jumbos is that stolen base number. They've attempted 78, stolen 61. Opposing teams have only attempted 30 steals against Tufts. So they're successfully outstealing their opponent's attempts 2-1.
That's either great efficiency or a little bit of a brash attitude. I'm not quite sure which one.
Second baseman McCullough steps in. That one going to get away from Ryan. No throw to be made. Fleckner will advance and be brought into scoring position.
Yeah, we'll see how they score this. I'm guessing that'll be called a wild pitch, and it is. So no stolen base for the center fielder, but he finds himself in scoring position for McCullough.
Count even 1-1. Fleckner's taken off. The throw to third by Ryan is not in time. Fleckner stays on the bag, popped up for a half second, but kept that hand on there. Fleckner, with his 12th stolen base of the year, now stands only 90 feet away from the Jumbo's first run of the game.
Henry Fleckner could tell from the second that Griffin went into the motion that he was throwing off speed, and he went.
2-1. Pitch inside. Ryan seems to be setting up the opposite end of the plate, but Griffin struggling with location at the moment. The good news is throwing inside to a right-handed batter puts Ryan closer. Fleckner is taking a healthy lead at third. About halfway down the line, McCullough hits this one out towards right center field. Chasing over is the center fielder Sawyer, brings that one in. Fleckner will score on the sac fly, and Tufts now leads this game 1-0.
And that's the advantage to being aggressive on the base pass, right? You get one hit from Henry Fleckner. You've had 2 batters hit into out, but you have a run on the board because you're aggressive on the base pass. We're able to take 2 bases in between that hit and that fly out.
The right fielder Malachi Pena will step in to bat. Freshman having himself quite a year.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if he gets himself some votes for the NESCAC Rookie of the Year, hitting a 348 with a 954 OPS, 9 doubles, 29 RBIs, both those stats leading the Jumbos.
2 pitches, both balls to Pena.
Yeah, not one who's prone really to swinging at a ton of terrible pitches. Has taken 8 walks as Trinity now going to have a mound visit.
Quick check-in with Griffin. We've acknowledged that he's been struggling a bit with location as his catcher Ryan has been setting up usually on the outside part of the plate against these right-handed hitters, and Griffin keeps throwing in. So I imagine the conversation has to do something with that.
Yeah, I also wonder, the way that Fleckner went on that steal, it almost seemed as if he knew that it was going to be off speed. I'm wondering if he's tipping.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know, that half second that he's taking before he whips his arm around for the pitch is exposed back towards the second baseman. So with Fleckner having been on second, he can very easily see the grip in the hand for that pause right before Griffin brings the torque to the shoulder.
I think that's how you describe it. I'm not a physics major.
I was trying to work in engineering words. Got to prove my education's going well. 2-0. Pena hits this one hard out towards center field. Sawyer's going back, watching as it sails over the fence. The mound visit leads to nothing other than a Malachi Pena home run. And Tufts, 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 out rallies been going on for the Jumbos, and it's not over yet.
Well, you come out with a mound visit, and I'm imagining the message to Tyler Griffin was to tell him to locate his pitches towards the outside of the batter's box from a righty perspective. The problem is he located it on the outer half of the plate, right in Malachi Pena's sweet spot, and that ball went about 450 feet.
Yeah, that ball hit pretty much right to the right of the batter's eyes, so 400 feet and then some to get out. A.J. Lisco, the batter now.
Yeah, Lisco hasn't had a ton of appearances this year, hitting 300, has a very good OPS, 1.362, so someone who hits it far when he makes contact.
That ball up and at the head of Lisco. Got out of the way. Big sigh of relief that he did not get hit there. But again, some command issues coming in from Griffin very, very early on in this game. 2-0. Lisco decides a little late to swing. Fouls that one down.
And I think more so especially in a NESCAC series, but the first pitcher you send out to start game 1 of a series, you really can't afford to have them struggle because it taxes your bullpen so much, and you need your bullpen available for games 2 and 3 tomorrow.
You do have the luxury of 2 less innings that you have to play due to the doubleheader, but if your starting pitcher can't give you more than 3 or 4 innings, you're in a very bad spot.
I mean, we saw it happen last weekend to the Jumbos. Their bullpen collapsed down the stretch in game 2 of the 7-inning doubleheader because they had spent 8 innings on the mound in game 1 because Podeswa could only go an inning and a third.
2-2. Lisco takes.
Oh, wow. Everyone was walking to the dugout except the umpire.
I thought the umpire was going to give Patrick Solomon part 2. Take some time, call him out on strike 3. The Bantams thought they had it, but now the count runs full. Payoff pitch from Griffin. Inside. Ball 4.
Yeah, and a little bit of visible frustration there from Tyler Griffin about that 2-2 call. He certainly thought he had gotten himself a second strikeout of the inning.
Would you wager that it's a pay it forward call? He got the good call against Solomon, but maybe it was actually a ball, so umpire kept that in mind come Lisco's at bat and gave him the
I
ball
mean,
call
I'm not a
here?
big theorist of pay it forwards going more than like one at bat. I just feel like umpires have to have short-term memories to not like just deal with horrific emotional trauma, getting yelled at by like coaches for every wrong call. But I do question that 2-2 call because it looks pretty good from here.
Now we got the left fielder Cooper Smith as Griffin goes to check in on Lisco. Lefty move to first base, presenting a little bit of trouble for that first baseman Frayne
Yeah, it's
of
not
the
just
Bantams.
not just throws to home. Everything seems to have location problems right now for Griffin.
Smith, hit and run called for. That one will fall in front of Sawyer. Lisco is already on the move for the designed play, so he'll find himself on third. 2-out rally keeps on going. Runners on the corners as Connor Flavin steps in.
Yeah, hit and run executed to perfection. Fastball, middle. Cooper Smith doesn't try and do too much, just flares that ball into shallow center field. Griffin was already making the turn before that ball hit the ground, and runners on the corners with 2 outs for Connor Flavin.
Flavin, 10 RBIs on the year. With the way that Griffin's been pitching and the way that Tufts has been hitting him, it seems like number 11 is primed to come home. Off speed from Griffin, in for strike one.
I like that decision. Flavin was 100% sitting fastball. He's thinking about trying to get home run number 4.
Chopper over to second. Throw in time for out number 3. 2 left on the bags for Tufts, but the Pena home run and the sac fly from McCullough tag a pair of runs on the board. Jumbos extend their lead, or grow their lead to 2-0. Can't extend what didn't already exist. Silas Reed now working with a bit of support behind him as we head into the top of the second. Top of the second, it'll be the 5-hitter Sawyer to lead things off for the Bantams. Take a quick moment to apologize. We had an issue with one of the names that we had given. The right fielder for the Bantams, number 31, is Aiden Stern, not Stein. It's my bad.
Stepping in here will be William Sawyer.
Sawyer, another high fly ball to Pena. He'll take a couple steps in for out number 1.
Malachi Pena has had himself a very active start to this game. 2 long fly balls, camp under, and that solo shot in the bottom of the first.
The speed demon Tyler Bernstein will now be the batter. Bernstein, not yet a qualified hitter, as he does not have the minimum at-bat requirements. However, in his limited appearances, has been pretty solid for Trinity. A .339 batting average, 13 stolen bases, puts him at second on the team.
I don't know, maybe it's my basketball commentary experience, but it feels weird to see a Bernstein who's not 6'11".
Fair enough. Can't argue with it. I think those are the only 2 Bernsteins I've ever met. So we got the baseball player, the basketball player. Right now, the baseball player, 1-1, swings come up empty. Reed going off speed, looked like a slider.
Bernstein swung so hard he swung himself out of that batter's box.
1-2, Whitfield sets up outside. Another swing, another miss. Strikeout number 1 of the day for Silas Reed.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to say it because he mowed down the Bantams so fast in the top of the first, but it was kind of rare to see an inning without a K for Silas Reed.
Did get a couple of groundouts, though, so those are that soft contact where it could have been a strikeout, but they just got a piece of the ball. Catcher Jack Ryan now the batter.
Ryan hitting 231 on the year.
Reed, after getting the strikeout, goes very high velocity, but control wasn't there. So ball 1.
Jack Ryan has been hit by 8 pitches in 25 games this year. So someone who knows how to wear it, and I think that it's not an uncommon stat to see a catcher leading the team in HPP.
Yeah, it's usually pretty common.
As that one sails outside. An interesting stat, though, about this Trinity team. They average more than 1 HBP a game. 29 batters have been hit in only 25 games played.
The same can be said for their opponents. Their opponents have been hit 30 times in the 25 games that they've played as Reed issues a 4-pitch walk to Ryan.
That's really rare because Silas Reed, for the first 6 batters this game, has had locked-in command, and then all of a sudden just could not find the strike zone there.
Did have that full count against Meth just an inning ago, but first at bat where no strike has been issued. Shortstop Matthews now the batter. Matthews 283 batting average coming into today. Swings first pitch, fouls back.
That time Reed was able to find the strike zone.
283 batting average for Matthews comes alongside 7 doubles, but yet to have a hit that takes him past second base. Runner is going as Matthews fouls that one back. Potential hit and run situation, it seems.
I don't know about that. I actually think that they just got a good read on Silas Reed. It's the first time they've even really taken more than a meander off first base, and it happened to be on an off-speed pitch. Either they got a good guess, or he also might be tipping.
This ball hit high right center field. Pena's coming over. Brings that one in for out number 3. Bantams go down almost in order. Another 2-out situation where a runner has gotten on base. For Tufts, netted run, Bantams. Reed puts him down.
Yeah, an efficient start to the game for Silas Reed. 1 hit given up. Only 2 runners led on base. Gets through 2 innings in 30 pitches. So exactly what the Jumbos wanted from him if you're Coach Svagdis.
8, 9, and 1 hitters due up for Tufts. That's Whitfield, Fleischer, and Solomon, all of which looking for their first hits of the afternoon. Griffin still on the mound for the Bantams. Not seeing any action in the bullpen, which, granted, it is the second inning, so you wouldn't expect to be seeing action in the bullpen. However, with some of the command issues that we've seen from Griffin, a very early mound visit taken, some long hit balls,
Yeah,
you question whether or not it's a early bullpen day. There are plenty of bullpen pitchers on the Bantams roster. Only 3, 4 starters that they've used consistently, so
I'm always of the philosophy that I'd rather have someone throw an extra 20, 25 pitches in the bullpen than be in a situation where you need someone out of the bullpen and not have someone ready to go. Because we saw that happen at Colby last week. It's how the Jumbos were able to turn a 12-run game into a situation where they had Malachi Pena up with a chance to win the game. Like, you can always just not throw them in the bullpen tomorrow, but you're not going to get a second chance to undo giving up a big inning because you didn't have a pitcher ready.
yeah, I'm not too sure when the Bantams' next game is, but playing 3 here, I imagine it's a couple of days rest, which means if you do have 4 starting pitchers, as they do, you could even use one of those as a long reliever in a situation where Griffin is struggling a bit and you want to try and keep the run deficit reachable.
That's a really, really good point. Their next game is Tuesday after the series at Nichols College before they have a big, big homestand to finish out NESCAC play against Bowdoin.
Whitfield, first pitch swinging. This one tracing back into the right field gap, and that one's just gone too. Malcolm Whitfield saw Malachi Pena take the lead for home runs for Tufts and said, "No, sir, I want to tie that with you." Continues to keep everything tied. 4th home run of the season for Whitfield.
Yeah, I mean, that one got out of here like a rocket. You said it off the bat. It looked like it was going to the gap, and it just kept carrying until it hit the scoreboard.
I thought it was going to go hit the wall, but it just kept tailing more and more to the right. The wind is blowing out that way. The further over to the right it goes, up until it hits the Great Wall of Medford. Distance does shrink rapidly. Again, 400 dead center. That ball was hit roughly 360, a little bit more, as it just kept carrying over and over to the right.
Still no movement in the Trinity pen.
The lead now 3. Ozzie Fleischer will be the batter. Shortstop, most known for his defense, does have himself a pretty solid offensive year going as well. Barely over that 300 batting average mark.
It's been what most would call his best offensive year here in Medford. Finally got some home runs with 2 in that series against Bates. His first 2 of his career. 19 RBIs on the year, so someone who's not a particularly powerful hitter, but very good at getting on base.
1-1. Griffin to Fleischer. Bounces one in front of him.
Yeah.
Got a pretty high bounce off of the turf as well. I was concerned we might have seen a Vlad Guerrero situation. Ball bounces, Fleischer swings anyway. Hits it deep.
I don't think Fleischer's the type to go golfing, but
2-1. Fleischer swings. This ball hit hard through the middle. Another base hit for Tufts. Now with the runner on, Patrick Solomon will look for his first hit of the day. First time up, got called out looking on 3 pitches.
And if I'm Brian Adamski, the Trinity head coach, I think you got to start putting someone in the pen. Griffin's getting shelled right now.
Seen a lot of hard hit balls, 2 home runs. Solomon squares bunt, but this one's high in the air. No one able to get there in time. Meth wasn't too fast running in to try and grab that one. He was prepared for the ball to be on the ground and try and make a play at first off of the sack. Catcher Ryan almost got there, though.
And I cannot tell you how much I hate the decision to show bunt there from Patrick Solomon. You guys are teeing off on Griffin. You're a 318 hitter. You know how to swing the bat. Go up there and have a rip.
I agree, but I also kind of understand where it makes sense. Solomon is one of the faster jumbos. Last year, it was him and Fleckner right at the top for stolen bases. Solomon swings, fouls one back. So I get it, right? The corners are playing deep. You can try and bunt, but no outs, runner on, pretty solid hitter in Solomon, especially when it comes to contact. Yeah, I think you probably should just let him swing, but I can understand where Coach Svagdis is trying to change the game plan a bit as Fleischer caught in a rundown, tries to go for the swim move, but will be called out.
Call me crazy. I don't know if we have a replay of that. I thought he had gotten around that tag.
It was definitely close, but when you're caught in that rundown sort of a situation, almost always it's going to be an out.
But that is not the sort of error you really can be making if you're Ozzie Fleischer. You got the heart of the lineup coming up behind you.
0-2 outside. Yeah, you have Fleckner behind Solomon, who already has a base hit on the day. McCullough, who hit a deep fly ball for the first run, and then Pena after that with the home run. So definitely don't want to be caught in a base running situation. However, with a 3-run lead, trying to be aggressive isn't the worst thing in the world. Sets a good precedent for tomorrow, where, again, if you come out with the win today, you do still want to win one, definitely both, but at least one of the games tomorrow.
And I wonder how much of this kind of really aggressive mentality we're seeing from the Jumbos is a mental thing, because coming into this game, they were really down. 4 losses in one weekend in SCAC play will do that to you. But we've kind of seen how quickly fortunes can turn. The Jumbos had been riding on high coming into that Colby series, and it all crashed. Just as easily, if they get a couple good games here, they can go right back to where they were doing a couple weeks ago. And I think they're trying to get that set up here.
Yeah, you can kind of see that with the swing that we just saw from Fleckner. The change in mentality for Jumbos as this game has gone on. Fleckner there sitting, waiting for the off-speed pitch, saw it, paused for a second, and now he's chasing every off-speed pitch that he's offered. That one was miles high, but he was sitting ready for the off-speed pitch, swung. Risky one. He kind of did a, cutting a log type of a move, swinging almost down on the ball with how high that pitch was. Fleckner yet to take a pitch this game, but he will there.
And there is a slightly noticeable difference in the delivery from Griffin with the off-speed. It's just a little bit slower to home plate with his leg kick.
Yeah, you can see it right there. Very good call out there, Riley.
And I think the Jumbos are picking up on that because you mentioned Fleckner sitting off speed on that first pitch. He was sitting on it there. They're starting to notice it. And when you know if it's going to be an off-speed pitch or not, it makes it so much easier to hit the baseball.
1-2. Fleckner goes very high to try and get that one. Comes up empty. Back-to-back strikeouts for Griffin. Jumbos tack one on the board from the Whitfield home run to start things up. But after that, 3 pretty solid outs recorded by the Bantams. They'll need to start to claw their way back into this one, as if Tufts continues to push the pace like this, a run in every inning, things will get out of hand very quickly.
Yeah, they need to go after Silas Reed because if you let him get in a groove as he's starting to, look out. I mean, you can just ask the Bates hitters how that goes.
We'll see 9-1 and 2 due up for Trinity. That's Gaudio, Stern, and Schnitzer.
Reed now, if I'm him, with a 3-run lead and my offense showing that they are more than capable of putting runs on the board, I'm just going after these hitters. I know that I have what it takes to just put every one of these batters back on the bench in 3 pitches. I'm just going out there looking for Ks and inducing weak contact. I don't think he has to really be worried about giving up a big hit because he has an offense that can support him and he has a nice cushion.
And the more that Tufts continues to put runs on the board, the more that cushion grows, perhaps the more comfortable that a pitcher feels to get aggressive and really chase down after these hitters. So, you know, we saw his first strikeout the last inning with the 2 runs behind him. Now that there's 3, maybe we start to see more velocity. We start to see the fastball inside rather than outside, all as we have all throughout today.
And there is a fastball towards the inside part of the plate, fouled back.
So, yeah, we're just very smart people who know the game of baseball so well inside and out, and we're in the minds of all the players. What can we say?
I was going to go
at our jobs.
I was going to go with the story that we just have a earpiece in from Whitfield that's telling us what the pitches are going to be, but
No, other way around. He's got an earpiece from us. We're
right.
telling him what the pitches should be.
Well, whatever those last 2 pitches were, they were a little too high, 2-1 now.
Gaudio getting his 5th start of the season today, batting .263. Thinks about going. They'll say he holds up, but I thought that was a strike regardless. Didn't look that high.
I will agree with you on that, but it is absolutely the right call from the first base umpire that he did not go there.
Yeah, definitely not a swing. I just thought it was a strike regardless. 3-1. Reed back to the heater. Runs the count full.
And that's the sort of pitch that says, I don't think you can catch up to my fastball.
Gaudio fouls one back. So he's a little bit more on the fastball, but still not on time to try and put one in play. 3 walks, 6 strikeouts for Gaudio on the year. One pitch can very easily change those numbers. As Gaudio gets called out on strikes, he took a couple of skip steps over to first, but never dropped the bat. I think he knew that one was not the pitch to take.
And talk about dotting the corner. Just an absolute perfect pitch location from Silas Reed.
That at-bat was all about the fastballs. We'll see if the trend continues as Stern steps into bat. So far, yes.
Yeah, starting off his first at-bat the same way he started off, or starting off his second at-bat the same way he started off his first one, fouling a fastball back.
If history is doomed to repeat itself, this pitch is the ball. Whitfield setting up high and inside, but this one called a strike, so history not going to repeat itself.
At least not on
Could
that
go
pitch.
2 for 3, though. Pitch number 3 and at-bat number 1 resulted in a ground out to the first baseman, Flavin. The 0-2. Reed tries to go away. Looked like he might have wanted to go off speed, but ball kind of just came funny out of his hand.
Oh, I thought that was a pitch he was trying to get a chase from.
1-2 goes to the curve. Fleischer gets it on a couple of bounces. Throw over in time to get Stern out at first.
All right, let's talk about Ozzie Fleischer on that play because it doesn't seem like it when you're watching it at home and even watching it here. But Ozzie Fleischer was behind the second base bag when he got to that baseball. Just comes across, makes it look so casual. That's a ball that yeah, you're supposed to make, but it's not an easy play. And Fleischer makes it look like it's just another day at the park.
Ozzy, of course, the reigning NESCAC Defensive Player of the Year. Just a season ago, Tufts getting that honor in both baseball and softball from their shortstops. Schnitzer, the batter, singled his first time up in the first inning. Now, very quickly, I thought that one was going to be called a strike. My bad. 1-1.
Yeah, good job there by Schnitzer to just hold on that pitch.
That one fouled out of the bullpen. Couple of bounces, hits a car.
That looks like my tee shots on 18.
It looks like my tee shot on every hole. 1-2. High heat, no swing, even at 2s.
And I think if there's one thing to kind of criticize Reed for so far, it's that his pitches that have been trying to induce chases haven't been competitive enough.
See the same thing there, trying to go low now with the fastball, but almost bounces that one in.
Good job once again by Whitfield keeping that in front of him.
Not quite the biggest thing to be concerned about with no runners on, but, you know, practice how you play. Want to be in the right mentality in case a batter does get on. Full count, 2 outs. This one hit high and deep to right field. Pena takes a couple of steps back, but will bring that one in. That is the 4th F9 of the game. Pena having himself a day at the plate and a day in the field.
So a good game for anyone who bet the over on fly balls to right field?
Yeah, I got 4 on the scorecard, so...
I think it was at 3.5, but I'm not sure. We'll take a short break, be right back. Jumbo's coming up to bat. Yeah, I know.
Bottom of the 3rd, leading things off for Tufts is Jesse McCullough. Had that sac fly his first time up to start the offensive parade that Tufts has begun here. Griffin still pitching, still no movement from the Bantams in the bullpen. However, Tufts is averaging a home run an inning, so we'll see how things continue in regards to that streak. McCullough gets a barrel on this one, but not enough out there. Barely needing to move is Sawyer for out number 1.
Yeah, Jesse McCullough, 2 ABs with 2 really nice pieces of contact. Unfortunately, sometimes in baseball, it's not about how hard you hit it, but where you hit it, and he's hit it right at the center fielder both times.
Pena, now the batter. Home run his last time up to take the home run lead for Tufts at 4. Whitfield, of course, tying it. So now Pena might need to strike back to take the lead again for himself.
And right now, just like Griffin's velocity seems to have dropped off like noticeably, even from like the first pitch of this game.
Pena hard hit again. This one going to the left field corner. Takes a bounce off the wall. The left fielder Schnitzer now has it. Sliding into second is Pena. So 2 at-bats, 2 hard-hit balls, 2 extra base hits. And now a runner in scoring position with 1 out.
Yeah, Tyler Griffin has learned the 2 things you can't do against Malachi Pena. 1, you cannot leave a fastball middle in. 2, you cannot hang a curveball.
Talk about that change in velocity in terms of the fastball. Of course, that's come for the trade-off of better command from Griffin. However, I wonder if that change in velocity just has all of the jumbo hitters seeing everything basically the same. The off-speed pitches at the same velocity as the fastball. You no longer need to consider how quickly do you need to swing. It's just the location of the bat reduces the elements of the game that you need to be concerned of as a batter.
Absolutely.
A.J. Lisco, the batter, walked his first time up.
That's the best pitch I've seen in a while from Griffin.
A lot of movement, good location.
And I like the idea of going off speed to the freshmen. Freshmen aren't just as experienced with good off speed pitches like that one.
0-1 goes back to the fastball inside.
It's the second time today he's almost hit Lisco.
Of course, that one more accurate than the first one that almost hit him in the head. So, again, change in velocity, better control. 1-1, Pena's running, pitch inside. Ryan won't even throw. Stolen base from Malachi Pena.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it time and time again, but it's almost worth a mound visit at this point just to see if you can find a way for Griffin not to tip his pitches, because Pena knew his off speed, knew he had the speed to beat out that curveball and then a potential throw down to third base, and took off.
2-1, big swing from Lisco, comes up empty on the Heat. Wonder if another element to it is that the catcher, Ryan, is kind of moving a little bit before Griffin even sets up. So when Ryan sets up inside, the way that Griffin's been having some location issues, maybe that plays into it. If he's trying to set up inside, you know he's going to likely miss even further inside, so you have that extra second that it's going to take Ryan to get into a position where he can throw down to third.
That's a really good insight, Jordan. Didn't even think about that.
3-2, Lisco swings. Soft flare into left field. Perhaps in another situation where the runner isn't on third, the third baseman Meth's there to catch it, but not there then. Base hit from Lisco. Pena comes home. Another run on the board for Tufts as Cooper Smith steps in for his second time.
And just looking at the body language right now for Tyler Griffin, how slow he is to get back on the mound after these ABs, just showing just how demoralized he feels right now. Giving up 7 hits already in 2 1/3. But Trinity still yet to send anyone to even stretch in the bullpen.
Griffin has the arm strength to keep things going. Griffin trying to do some trickery with the eyes there. But Lisco's not taking that large of a lead. So not much to be concerned for in terms of Jumbo's base running at the moment. Of course, Griffin did have that one good pickoff that caught Fleischer in a situation. Meth almost lost his balance there, able to turn and make the play to get the lead runner at third. Sharp grounder, very nice pickup there from Sean Meth.
Yeah, great job there by Meth, and a nice job there scooping that up by Gaudio, because for all the great pick he had, Meth almost threw that ball away, and it took a nice scoop by the second baseman to keep that ball on the infield.
Yeah, had to throw from his feet. Still on the ground, not the best of positions you want to be in. But got the out nonetheless as Connor Flavin hits this ball high, trailing into foul territory. Off the pole, that's going to be a home run, I believe, for Connor Flavin. I thought it hit the pole. They're saying it hit the wall, so it's just a one-run double as Coach Svagdis is signaling that that ball might have been hit off of the pole. There should be a quick conference going on between the umpires whether or not that's a Flavin home run. I thought that ball might have been a bit foul, but if it hit the pole, that would be a 2-run home run for Flavin rather than the 1-run double. Regardless, a run comes home.
I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that it has to hit the pole above that black marker. Otherwise, it's considered hitting the wall. And I believe it did hit the pole, but below the black mark, which would just be equivalent to it hitting off the wall.
It was definitely close. The rule there is correct, Riley. Good catch on that, but the talk needs to be how close to the black line was it. Flavin took a trot as if it was a home run, but after some quick briefing, they're going to say below the black line. Good call there, Riley. Just a 1-run double for Flavin instead of the 2-run home run. Little disappointing in that regard, but the extra base hits continue to pour in for Tufts. Another run on the board now, 5-0, as Whitfield, who already has a home run on the day, comes up to bat for Tufts.
The catcher number 11, Malcolm Whitfield.
Yeah, Flavin with a nice lead off of second base.
Whitfield swinging first pitch, lined into right. Flavin being waved around third. Whitfield steady at first. Griffin not going to throw. And Flavin comes home anyways, just one pitch later. Malcolm Whitfield, 2 hits, 2 RBIs.
And that's redemption there for Connor Flavin, because we did see in a replay, we weren't able to show it to you, but that ball did hit above the black. So should have been a home run. Doesn't matter in the end. Flavin gets home anyway, and the Jumbos have 5 runs already. 9 hits, as this is quickly turning into a game to forget for Tyler Griffin, as out comes the Trinity coaching staff to have a mound visit. And normally this is where you'd expect them to pull the pitcher, but once again, there's still no one warming up in the pen.
No one in the bullpen for Trinity. Take a quick peek now. Maybe they got a position player in the field right now who's pitched a little bit, but I'm not seeing anyone. So it's very interesting there. No one is prepped to throw.
No one's prepped to throw. You almost wonder, especially if he were to give up another run, do they just leave him out there as like a sacrificial lamb and just let him get slaughtered by the Jumbos to save the rest of the pen?
It seems at the bare minimum, he's gonna get the rest of this inning. Maybe now things will start to get stirring for Trinity, but he's definitely getting at least the rest of this inning. 2 outs, understandable, right? He's already thrown good number of pitches. What's a couple more if he has the arm strength to continue to do it? Not the end of the world. But
I mean, I think there's validity in that argument. My question is, by doing that, are you basically almost waving a white flag in the 3rd inning?
I wouldn't say that you're waving a white flag. You're definitely saying, to some of these guys who've seen you pretty well, Fleischer already has a base hit. Whitfield easily going to slide into second there. Almost overran the bag. The throw from Ryan was cut off in front of second base just because no attempt could have been made to get Whitfield.
Yeah, he should not have even thrown that ball. Whitfield was halfway to second base by the time that pitch was released.
Yeah, it was a smart play by the second baseman, Gaudio, there to just get the ball before it could sail into the outfield. But now a runner in scoring position. Fleischer already has a hit on the day. Things are a little different than they were a second ago. A 7th run, that becomes problematic. But behind Fleischer, you have Solomon, who struck out twice today in his 2 at-bats. So you're saying, okay, if Fleischer gets on base with a base hit, with the runner on first, that is, things are okay. Chopper, shortstop, needs to make a play. Strong throw will get Fleischer. Very solid throw there from Matthews to get his fellow shortstop. Tufts does put up a 3 spot, though, so the lead extends 6-0. Silas Reed, you were confident an inning ago with 3 runs. How much more confident can you get up 6?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with 6 runs, the expectation of what you want from Silas Reed completely changes. With 3 runs, you're leaving him in until he shows you that he's not, pitching up to par. With 6 runs, you're leaving him in about until his arm falls off because you want to save the pen. You got runs to spare, and you know Silas can go the distance.
Definitely can. Of course, you do have some of the back of the bullpen guys who have had some long relief outings before. You look to that first game of the season against Brandeis, our season where we got to cover the Brandeis game, 26-5, where Coldonado pitched, I believe, 3 innings in that game. So you do have some guys like that who can come in and give some more innings if
Michael
you
O'Brien.
might want to save Reed a little bit.
But
keep him to like a 6-7 inning mark so his arm doesn't fall off for playoffs. But
the other thing
definitely could just go 9.
The other thing I think is only 2 games next weekend, no midweek game this week for the Jumbos, and not NESCAC games next weekend. So theoretically, with Reed being your ace, this might actually be his last start of the regular season.
Mm-hmm. Get a good one on paper before things try and get the guy his second pitcher of the week.
Definitely could. Sean Meth up to bat to lead off the fourth for the Bantams, who are in need of something to give them any semblance of hope right now.
Back in the first, Meth grounded out to short. Another hard hit ball to Fleischer. Looking 2 for 2 on shortstop groundouts.
Yeah, and I mean, Meth got good contact there. Unfortunately, Doesn't matter how hard you hit the ball. If you hit it anywhere in the general vicinity of Ozzie Fleischer, he's going to act like a vacuum cleaner.
That is the third grounder to Fleischer of the day.
Feels like every other at-bat's either a grounder to Fleischer or a fly ball to Pena.
Oh, there's Pena taking a look at a foul ball that went that way. Off the bat of Frayne. Frayne did fly out to Pena his last time up, so yeah. This is very repetitive scorebook I'm looking at right now. 6-3 F9 strikeout as that ball hits
HBP.
Frayne.
That's the 30th hit batter for the Bantams this year. And the first pitch we've really seen get away from Silas Reed.
After a long foul ball, you often see a lot of pitchers try and go back to the fastball there. Reed, same deal, but perhaps a little rattled that one got that far out off the bat. So bring up the center fielder, Sawyer. 0 for 1 on the day with a right field fly out.
Yeah, Malachi Pena got to stay on his toes there. As ahead of that pitch was Sawyer.
Big swing and a miss. That was a good off-speed pitch from Reed. Sawyer down 0-2. Flavin, interestingly enough, is playing Frayne close at first. Frayne's not taking a huge lead regardless. Only has 1 stolen base on the only attempt he had this year. This one hit long and foul. 1 bounce, 2 bounces.
And you know what I love about Malachi Pena's defense? He did not stop running until he hit the fence. That's a ball that ended up 20 feet out of the field, but he gave a full effort the entire way.
0-2. Grounder. McCullough can get the lead runner at first with Fleischer. Throw not in time. Very close. Bang, bang. But Fleischer not able to throw hard enough to beat Sawyer to the bag.
That was a bang, bang play. Nice stretch there by Connor Flavin. Looked pretty close from here.
The runners on first will trade places. Was Frayne, now Sawyer. Sawyer, a better base runner than Frayne. Does have 7 stolen bases. 2 outs, probably not the best time to run. However,
I actually
when
like
you're
the
desperate
idea
for
of sending
some
him, just because I feel like you're not going to get an extra base hit against Silas Reed the way he's dealing. You might be able to get a single.
1-0 in the dirt. However, if Reed continues to just pump the zone with fastballs, you might not get the best pitch to try and run on. The velocity is up. The fastballs just keep coming. So running, not the worst idea, but the question is just when to do it.
Well, maybe now. 2-1 pitch would be a pitch you might expect Reed to try and throw an off-speed in there to fool the batter. If he's not going to run now, he's not going to run at all.
2-1 to Bernstein. There's a half-step larger lead at first for Sawyer, but he's not moving. Reed finds the zone, strike 2.
It's a great backdoor fastball there. Looked like it was going to end up off the plate the whole way at the last second. Just a little bit of horizontal movement catches the corner.
Bernstein has already gone down on the strikeout once today. Whitfield tries to frame. Not going to find it, though.
That's a pitch you might get called strike 3 if you're down 6-0. You're not getting that up 6-0.
Full count runner on first.
He will definitely be on the move now.
Interesting that Flavin's still playing close to the bags. This one's fouled back. Isn't this usually a position where you see the first baseman drop back?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I also think with the way that the Jumbos have just been so done, and now he is going to drop back.
So I wonder why not on that first pitch, perhaps.
To be honest,
Flavin
I
had
wonder
the
if he
wrong count?
lost. Yeah, I wonder if he lost the count.
It was very quick recognition after the foul ball to move back. So this is interesting. Inside ball 4. Second walk of the day issued by Reed.
As the first Trinity base runner to get into scoring position today. So an opportunity here for the catcher Ryan, who got on first time up.
Ryan only saw 4 pitches from Reed his first time, all 4 of them balls. yet to take a swing. Reed yet to find a strike against this particular batter. Yet to have a strikeout in this inning. So a lot of unusual things happening in terms of this inning in Silas Reed. First pitch from Ryan fouled
I think it fouled
potentially
off of Whitfield.
off of Whitfield's foot.
Yeah, and I don't think it was the foot. The way he's gesticulating, I think it might have hit him in his offhand.
Very quick to get back into that squatting position. So you're definitely right, not on the leg. That usually would take a little bit longer. That ball looked like it was hit down. Quick check-in with the dugout to make sure that Whitfield's okay.
I love how
Seems
the
to be fine.
umpire's dusting off the plate as if there's like dirt there.
The umpire needs something to do during this time. 0-1 to Ryan. Reed with a quick check in at second. He'll make the move, but that ball's thrown into the outfield. Fleckner will cover. Sawyer
They would have had him, I think.
Sawyer did not see the ball went into the outfield. Fleckner did a very good job to run in and cut that one off before damage could have been done.
He looked like
Definitely
a deer in
had the window of
headlights.
opportunity to tag out Sawyer at second. Sharp move by Fleischer to go cover the bag, but the throw from Reed, not quite it. We'll see if there's a little bit more accuracy as he delivers one to the plate.
To me, that throw from Reed almost looked like a function of surprise at the fact that Sawyer wasn't moving back towards the bag. Got a little too amped thinking he could pick him off and gave Henry Fleckner some work to do.
Yeah, he hasn't had a whole lot of work out in center field. Of course, as I say that, this one's hit to right field. Payne is already back at the wall, and he's just going to watch that one sail. It's a 3-run shot from the catcher, Jack Ryan. He's had the number of Reed, and that 6-run lead cut back to 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pitch. You gave it to him middle in, right at the chest, and we've been seeing, for the fact that they have only had one hit until this swing, we've seen Trinity consistently hitting the ball well to the opposite field. They've had Malachi Pena busy. This time got under it at that perfect launch angle and just hit well by Ryan.
For Ryan, that's his second home run of the year, 17th RBI as well as he brings home 3. So the Bantams matching the 3 spot. Tufts put up in the bottom of the third with their own in the top of the fourth, and potentially more to come in as there are still 2 outs.
And that changes Trinity's mentality significantly. As soon as that ball went over the fence, they just sent someone to go warm up.
Another high fly ball. Payne is touching the wall. He's going to jump to try and get it, but it's off of the M.
He could go
Turning
3
and
here.
digging for second, standing. Might have been able to get to third. Ball hasn't even gotten back to the infield by the time that Matthews started celebrating his double.
At the same time, with the sort of speed Matthews has, there's not really much of a difference with 2 outs in a runner on second and a runner on third. And the risk-reward probably doesn't pay off to try and go for third there.
Yeah, exactly correct there. It's his 8th double of the year, though. Brings him within 1 of the lead, and it's the 9-hitter Gaudio now up to the plate.
Kind of surprised that no one's come out to have a chat with Silas Reed.
This is the sort of situation that Tufts has found themselves in all year long. First time through the order is usually pretty good for the starting pitchers, but second, third time around, that's where the trouble has really started to pour in.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it a couple weeks ago with Silas Reed in his first appearance against Bowden. We saw it with Podeswa against Colby. We saw it with Gavin Brown against Bates and against Colby.
Gaudio reaching for that one, just able to make contact.
1 strike away is Reed, and you get the feeling that a K here would be huge for his self-confidence going into the 5th.
Do see some pitchers in the Jumbo bullpen starting to take off their jackets, so maybe Reed nearing the end of his day, as there is now a pitcher throwing for the Bantams.
Yeah, and I think that tells you just how much that swing there from Jack Ryan changed things. It looked as if Trinity was willing to sacrifice their starter and just let him take the beating, but now that this is a competitive game, bullpen up and moving immediately.
Time asked for. Gaudio worked the count full in his first at-bat and then was called out on strikes. one of just 2 bantams to strike out from Reed today.
That one, strike 3.
Back to back. Picture perfect, just like the last one. Called strike 3, Gaudio with the shuffle step and then the long walk back to the dugout. 3-spot put up from the bantams off the back of Jack Ryan's home run. Tufts can look to battle back, but it's still Griffin on the mound for the bantams with someone in the bullpen behind him just in case things start to get out of hand.
We'll take a short break, be right back with the bottom of the 4th.
Bottom of the 4th, Tufts lead was 6, now 3. It's the top of the order for Tufts. Solomon, Fleckner, and McCullough due up. Solomon still looking for his first hit of the day, or first at-bat that doesn't result in a strikeout. Tyler Griffin still pitching for the Bantams. Count even 1-1. Bantam's bullpen still under work, so the leash on Griffin is very short as Solomon comes up empty on the off speed. One, two, this one fastball. Solomon gets on this one, hits out to center field, but Sawyer's there for out number 1. The wind coming in and towards right field, so these fly balls out towards center, out towards left are going to be knocked down or brought to a deeper part of the ballpark.
Without a doubt, and just could hear it just a little bit being down at field level, grabbing a program. That ball just missed the sweet spot, and probably the difference between that one going into the batter's eye and where it ended up.
Hard hit ball into a car. The entire crowd here at the Git with a groan of pain for whoever's windshield just got shattered. Fleckner 0-1 turns on this one. This ball's going out to left field in a hurry. Back at the wall and making the grab is Schnitzer.
Great job by Schnitzer there. And I'll tell you what, that is a ball that if there is no wind is going into Bello.
Very solid piece of contact from Fleckner, but just not enough. Schnitzer tracked that one down all the way. That was a very impressive play in left field. You could see he had the hand back, too, to make sure he wasn't colliding with the wall. Just all around, very good defense.
Griffin with a nice off-speed there to McCullough.
The Tufts second baseman, 0 for 1 on the day, has 2 hard hit balls to center field. First one, of course, not recorded as an at-bat because it was a sac fly.
Griffin 1 strike away from a 1-2-3 inning, which would be huge. And as I say that, he bounces that one about 80 feet.
1-2. Griffin gets the 1-2-3 here. Do you think potentially could see him again in the 5th?
Yeah, I do. I think Griffin's looked a little bit better here in this 4th.
1-2, another bouncer.
Though as I say that, his one real change had been his ability to locate pitches, and the last 2 off-speed pitches have only barely found their way onto the brown turf.
It's like what you say when you're shooting around with your friends, playing some basketball. I had the line. Not quite the distance, but I had the line.
Now couldn't find it with the fastball, and all of a sudden McCullough's worked his way all the way back to a payoff pitch here.
McCullough yet to get on base so far today. But the 3-2 hit sharply. Sliding shortstop Matthews not able to get there, and it's 2-out base hit for Jesse McCullough.
I'd like to change my answer to your previous question, Jordan. I don't think he will see an inning number 5. Only because even though he's gotten 2 outs this inning, it's not like they've been soft contact the way that Silas Reed had been inducing it. In fact, I don't know if he's going to see the end of this inning. I believe they are motioning to the bullpen here. And they are. That'll be the end of the afternoon for Tyler Griffin. Got through 65 pitches, 3 2/3, gave up 10 hits, including 2 long bombs.
Having only gone 3 2/3 innings, exactly as I was saying might be the case earlier, where you have 4 starting pitchers. If you get knocked out early, you need to go to another one. It's Ian Brown, who will be taking the mound now for the Bantams.
And I really like that decision from Bantams coach Brian Adamski, just because this is still a winnable game for the Bantams, but you get the feeling that you don't want to burn out your entire bullpen on a game where you're chasing runs.
Of course, with this move that almost certainly guarantees that the 9-inning game that will happen tomorrow will be Michael Aceto starting that one. Does have the most innings worked for any Bantam pitcher.
Yeah, and I don't think he's surprised by this in the slightest. He probably saw the move to Brown and said, all right, I better go rest my arm.
Yeah, that's one of those, it's windy, let me put on a jacket, I'm not being used today sort of a moments.
Well, I don't think he was expected to be used today, period. I don't know
Fair
if Ian
enough.
Brown was being expected to being used today. But nonetheless, he finds himself here in a situation where he has to deal with what might be the hottest freshman hitter in all of the NESCAC in Malachi Pena.
Brown, 5 games started, 31 2/3 innings pitched, given up 37 hits, opponent batting average of .287. 31 strikeouts, though, to lead the Bantams. Has given up a solid number of extra base hits as well, though. 16 total. Most of any Bantam pitcher. 10 doubles, 2 triples, and 4 home runs. So, most likely Bantam pitcher to give up a long ball on the mound right now.
And
And
only
the
like
most
it's-
likely Jumbo to hit a home run, about to step in the
yeah,
box.
Pena's been hitting a really good bat, 2 for 2 with 2 extra base hits already today. Can he make it a trifecta?
Pena, you said 2 at-bats, 2 extra base hits, home run, double, so it's also 2 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 runs scored. Only 1 RBI, though, so maybe he's trying to match that stat a little.
Ooh, nice off speed there.
Very solid amount of break. Pena getting his first looks here against Brown. And if an off-speed like that comes his way, maybe that type of a pitch right over the middle off-speed is something you have to consider. Check in a little bit more, and maybe now Pena's sitting off-speed, because that looks like one of those hanging sliders that a lot of Major League athletes will sit and wait their entire lives for to try and hit 600 feet.
Yeah, I still don't think you can sit off speed at this level of baseball.
Pena gets the fastball, swings, comes up empty behind 0-2 very quickly.
Precisely for that reason. Pena was looking off speed there and was late on the fastball.
.02 pitch from Brown. Ryan setting up outside. Not able to locate.
I like that spot, though. Sometimes you get the call, but even if Pena is able to get a bat to that ball, there's not really much he can do with it.
Yeah, it's a good miss. Another check in on McCullough at first.
He's very concerned with Jesse. Does not want to give Pena a runner in scoring position. Rightfully so.
.12 from Brown, off speed, not finding the zone. Count now even 2-2.
Brown visibly frustrated with himself there. Little shake of the head. And said something under his breath. Could not hear what it was, but not happy. Wanted that pitch to at least be competitive to the right fielder.
Brown with the long hold, 2-2. Pena gets under this one, fouls it out of play. No, we are being deprived a little bit. Brown being used today means he can't be used tomorrow, where we're likely to see Gavin Brown, so we can't get the Brown v. Brown matchup.
That is true. Well, you know, we'll just have to wait. Hopefully we'll see these two teams here again in the semifinals of the NESCAC tournament, you know. Then we can get the Brown v. Brown matchup.
2-2. Ball in the dirt. Ryan keeps it in front of him, and now the count's full.
Talk about a great at-bat from a freshman. Down 0-2. This is a situation where time and time again you see freshmen over-eager, chasing pitches. Pena, great job using his great eye, and has worked it to a full count, which allows McCullough to go on the pitch here.
Frayne also holding McCullough with the count full. That one went behind Pena? Did I see that correctly? Or are my eyes deceiving me?
No, it looked like it was
going to
start.
Back?
It looked like it was going to start, and then almost just like it kind of looked like someone was photoshopping the ball. It started outside behind Pena, all of a sudden ended up inside of him. Never once looked like it was going to be anywhere near the zone.
My eyes deceived me. I thought that went across his back. Regardless, ball 4 issued. Pena with a walk. Having himself a very solid day at the plate. Now it's A.J. Lisco, the batter.
Let's go 1-for-1 with a walk today. Brown starting him off the same way he started off Pena.
Wonder if this becomes a very telegraphed sort of a approach that Brown has. Go off speed with your first pitch. Don't want to become too predictable, but back-to-back batters makes it a little concerning. 0-1 goes for the heat low.
And going back to that first pitch, you get the feeling that if A.J. Lisco could, he would love that pitch back, because that was one that if he knew was coming, he could have sent to the train tracks.
McCullough speedy at second. Potentially looking to take a base. Matthews playing very carefully behind him as well.
Great take from Lisco. Had us all fooled like it was going to come back across the plate, just never had that last bit of break.
2-1. The left-handed batter now in a favored matchup, not having to go up against the lefty Griffin. 2-1, fouled back.
Lisco late on the fastball there. We'll see if Brown decides to go back to the heat or tries to conduce a chase with the off-speed stuff.
Two on, two out, count 2-2. Pitch from Brown. Off speed, grounding, fair. Frayne will take it himself. Will take it himself. Step on the bag, and that'll end it. First time this game where the Bantams have held Tufts to no runs. Silas Reed continuing with just that 3-run lead that he's seen twice now.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be a big inning coming up for Silas. Had been just absolutely in control prior to that pitch there to Jack Ryan. But, you know, now he only has himself a 3-run lead, and Trinity's kind of woken up a little bit. You get the feeling that with the way that they're now starting to be able to finally locate pitches, finally able to get outs of the Jumbos, finally getting an inning without the Jumbos putting runs on the board, you wonder, will 6 be enough? And you wonder, will the Jumbos be able to get more than 6? We're going to take a short break. Be right back with you.
Top of the fifth, almost at that halfway point in game one of the 3-match series. Stern looks to lay down a bunt, pulls back, takes ball.
Yeah, good idea there from Stern. Keeps the infield honest, especially with that right side of the infield playing very far back.
1-0. Grounder to McCullough. Easy throw on for out number 1.
And that's what you love if you're Silas Reed. It's great to try and go after batters, get strikeouts, but when you got a very good defense like the one he has, when you can induce weak contact, it allows you to get through batters really efficiently.
3 at-bats and 3 groundouts for Stern. Reed has had his number. Schnitzer will now come into bat.
Schnitzer's 1 for 2, came around to score in that last inning.
Schnitzer, long fly ball. Fleckner now needs to chase in. Little skip and he'll bring home out number 2.
Yeah, Henry Fleckner's speed saved him there. Did not get a good read on the ball. Took a couple steps back before realizing he had to come in. But in the end, that ball hung up for him.
Sean Meth now into bat for his 3rd time. Both of his at-bats prior, groundouts to short.
Ozzie Fleischer looks ready.
First pitch taken for a ball. Reed hasn't had a 1-2-3 inning since the 3rd. The only 1-2-3 inning of the day for either team.
Did make that seem like it was a lot longer than it's been. It's only been 2 innings since the 3rd.
But it's been a long 2 innings. The
It has
4th
been a
was
long
very
2
long
innings.
for both teams.
Yeah, it has been a long 2 innings. I'll give you that, Jordan.
1-1 down in the dirt.
I get the feeling that Reed probably has the 5th and maybe the 6th, but no more. His pitch count already up. This will be pitch number 80 here.
2-1 inside. Meth took a
Generous
step back,
call.
but
That's a generous call for Silas Reed.
two. Same pitch as before, so I guess you got to go with the same call. Meth goes down looking. 1-2-3 inning for Reed. 3 runs still being held as the lead. Reed, solid job bouncing back after the Ryan home run.
We'll take a short break. When we come back, take the turn for home.
Bottom of the 5th, 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for Tufts. That's Smith, Flavin, and Whitfield. Smith, last time up, came around to score on the Flavin not home run after grounding into a fielder's choice, but does have that base hit back in the 1st to help improve his batting average.
Yeah, that fielder's choice was a hard hit ball. Unfortunately, just right at a defender.
And that was the ball that had Meth on his toes, throwing from the ground to try and get the lead runner Lisco at second.
1-1 here now to the left fielder.
This is all 3 at-bats we've seen from Brown now, where his first 2 pitches are always one off-speed, one fastball. Whichever one you're not seeing on the first, you are seeing on the second. Be an interesting thing to keep track of as his tenure in this game continues.
If I'm Svagdis, I'm telling that to Connor Flavin right now. And I'm saying, look at pitch number 1, because you'll know what number 2 is going to be.
2-2 goes off speed. Lot of horizontal and vertical break there. The curveball is very nice from Brown. Location is definitely there too. That's, again, one of those good miss pitches.
Yeah, great miss. Good take there from Cooper Smith. Very easy to go chase that pitch.
3-2 goes to the fastball. Hard rip from Smith. Meth not able to grab that one. It'll sail with a lot of bounces into left field. Another base hit for Cooper Smith.
And this is the Cooper Smith we kind of expected when he transferred in. Made it to the JUCO World Series a year ago. Was a big contributor on that team. Was a member of the all-tournament team. So someone who knows how to deal in clutch situations. Had struggled early on when he was starting. Now gets a chance to start and is making the most of it.
Connor Flavin now the batter. Back in the third, had that questionable, is it a double, is it a home run? Regardless, came around to score.
If I'm him after that off-speed pitch, I'm sitting dead red fastball and I'm looking to send it to Bello.
Well, maybe not out to left. The wind's still carrying in heavily in left field. Maybe like a little more towards right field. Everyone go opposite way. There was fastball, sitting waiting.
It's a little late on it. He took your advice, Jordan, tried to hit it out to right field. Unfortunately, waited a little too long.
Got to play where the wind's not. The wind is a very big impactor in terms of batted ball sports.
Especially here in Medford.
0-2. Flavin called out on strikes.
He's not happy about it, but looked like the sort of call that is definitely a strike by the letter of the law, but often doesn't get called in reality.
There have been, if I'm looking at my scorecard correctly, 8 strikeouts in the game.
All of them have been looking, right?
5 of them have been looking.
And I don't
But that's
think
still a pretty high number.
I don't think any batter has gone down looking without contesting the call.
Gaudio, on both of his at-bats, went down looking and just walked towards the bullpen, or towards the dugout. But aside from those, every other one has been contested, and even those are ones that you could have deemed questionable.
Whitfield now digging in, ahead 1-0 in the count.
Whitfield 2 for 2 on the day, had that home run on the first pitch he saw from Griffin. Followed it up with a base hit just an inning later. This is the first time where I've had to tick off the balls and strikes in Whitfield's column of the scorecard.
Seen more pitches in this at-bat than he's seen the rest of the game. Good check there on Smith, as this would be a really smart time for the Jumbos to think about sending Cooper Smith.
One and one. Brown to Whitfield. Usually used to saying that in terms of a pitching deal, but now it's an at-bat. Foul back 1-2.
Fleischer on deck. Smith with another step on his lead here.
1-2. Off speed, well outside.
And that's something that I'm starting to notice here, is that when he uses the off speed as a setup pitch, it's been perfectly located. When he uses it as a put away pitch, he's been kind of overthrowing it.
2-2, Whitfield chases. No throw situation since there is a runner on first, even though the ball was not cleanly received from Ryan. So second strikeout of the inning for Brown brings up Ozzie Fleischer, 1 for 2 on the day.
Jordan, call me crazy. Actually, never mind. I'm going to stop talking about that as Trinity moved their third baseman in wisely as it looked like it was set up for Ozzie Fleischer to bunt.
I would have called you crazy if you were going to say that Tufts should bunt here. I mean, if Meth was playing all the way back or even like in a sort of shift situation, I'd understand it more. But
Now it's
two
clear.
outs, even if
Yeah.
he's playing like straight up, I don't think the bunt accomplishes much. You're putting a lot of faith in Patrick Solomon to try and do some damage when he's not having the best of days at the plate.
That one bounced. Runner going.
Smith will get there. Just took a little bit of a bounce away from Ryan for Smith to take off. Might have had a chance to get him if the throw was to the R right side from the home plate perspective, right side of second base, but with the throw to the left to try and spin around and get the tag, that's almost never going to happen. (2-0) to the Jumbo shortstop. Check in at second with Smith.
It's the second time today we've seen Trinity try and run that timing play. First time they ran it with the shortstop, this time with the second baseman. Neither time has been successful.
Smith took an extra step out this time, but Gaudio will actually run back to second. The long pause from Brown will work pretty well. Gets a strike.
That's dangerous, though, when you have Gaudio covering second base to throw an off-speed pitch there, because oftentimes if you have a good enough hitter like Fleischer, he can almost aim it for that gap that's vacated by the second baseman.
Especially if you're going to throw it outside, too. You're almost guiding him that way. Soft hit ball into left field. Coming in is Schnitzer. That's out number 3. Back-to-back zeros on the board for Tufts. Still preserving that 3-run lead. Silas Reed still looking to keep things going in the 6th. There is nary a Jumbo in the bullpen who's ready to work. So, barring any sort of troubles, this inning is all Silas.
Yeah, what looked to be a rout about an inning and a half ago has turned into quite a competitive game here at the gate. We'll take a short break, be right back with Silas' 6th.
Top of the 6th, 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for the Bantams. It's Frayne to get things started here.
It is a big inning for Trinity. Heart of their lineup against a tired Silas Reed. Is they're probably going to be their best chance to do some damage.
Frayne was hit by a pitch back in the 4th. Only time he's been on base. Of course, as I say that, gets a solid base hit into left field. And that's how the 6th gets started.
I can't see who it is, but there are now 2 Jumbos warming up in the pen. So Silas Reed is on a somewhat short leash here.
Let's bring up Sawyer, the center fielder for the Bantams. 0 for 2 on the day. Did ground into a fielder's choice his last time up to replace Frayne and then came around to score on the Ryan home run. Hard hit ball. Fleckner went to his left at first, or to his right, our left, excuse me, and then has to go to his left. Gets there anyway. That's 2 flyouts for Sawyer on the day, and 1 out means double play territory ends it. Bernstein trying to do anything but that to bring up the catcher, Ryan.
All right, here's what I'm saying. I think Silas Reed's day is done after this batter regardless of what happens. I don't think they're letting him see Ryan again.
I'd be inclined to agree if the pitchers in the bullpen were throwing. But I think they are just now throwing their first pitches. So, interesting situation.
Reed struggling a little bit to locate that fastball. It's just the release point's a little too early, and he's up and away consistently right now.
Do you think maybe that comes at odds with having to take some long pauses to give the guys in the bullpen some more time, as this one's hit towards left field? Cutting over is Smith, but it's just a foul ball.
And the Jumbo's very lucky that one stayed on the left side of the left field line, because if that one gets down, it's easily a two-back hit.
In theory, yes, but Frayne at first stayed there the whole time, thinking that someone was going to make a play and catch that ball.
I mean, I get maybe not rounding second base, but you got to be
But
at least
you have
halfway.
to be, yeah, you have to take some moves there. Where you see two guys running really hard to get a ball, if they're making a play to catch it, likely it's sliding or diving, and they're not going to have the ability to throw back to first.
Yeah,
You
if
should
get
be able to
thrown
get
out,
back
if you
there.
get thrown out by Ozzie Fleischer from like mid left field, fine.
2-2 ball in the dirt. This one's away from Whitfield. He won't have the chance to throw down to second. So Frayne advances. Scoring position now.
This offers an interesting opportunity for the Jumbos, because if they were to get Frayne out, you can theoretically walk Ryan.
Bernstein has struck out once today. Back in the second. Was swinging. But with the game dictated by going down looking, wouldn't be surprised if that happened either.
Reed with a very long pause.
3-2. High ball 4. Taking some glances over, but do not seem to see any movement from Coach Svagdis.
Even if you're not pulling him, I feel like you got to at least come talk to him. He's in the exact same situation he was in the fourth against the exact same guy, and you know that's on his mind.
Coach Svagdis did take one step. He's now standing at the front of the dugout, but it's still Reed to face him. First pitch swinging, Solomon, McCullough to Flavin, and that's 2 outs.
Yeah, Jordan, that's why I'm not a baseball coach, because Svagdis doing a lot better than I did, that he had faith in his defense, in his pitcher, and they get out of the inning unscathed.
It's perhaps one of the highest tension moments of the game. Ryan up at bat 2 on 3-run home run was his last at bat beforehand, but Silas Reed pitches carefully, gets him inside. Solomon, McCullough, and Flavin turn the double play. Just like that, 2 bantams get stranded.
2 of those 3 going to come right up to bat. It'll be the top of the Jumbo's order as we head to the bottom of the 6th.
Believe we're also going to have a pitching change. Or Brown just took a good amount of time to get his glove. It's the latter. That's still Ian Brown. Or maybe not.
No, it is Ian Brown.
I mistook the Jumbo player for a coach talking to the umpire, asking questions about the bantam in the bullpen and whether or not he was coming in. Got confusing for a second. Now there's a lot of discussion about said
Something.
ruling.
There's something about it. I think it's actually a question about a Jumbo player in the bullpen. Because they're pointing down the third base line. I think someone came out of the Jumbo's bullpen, and the Trinity coaching staff is asking them to either be in the bullpen or the dugout.
Definitely possible.
All I know is everyone, coaches, players, umpires, us, seems very confused about what is going on that third base line.
Yeah, a lot of questions to be raised, but perhaps none of them more important than Patrick Solomon. What will you do in this at-bat?
Solomon 0 for 3 on the day.
Struck out twice, once looking, once swinging, and then flew out in the in the fourth to position number 8, which is center field.
Has not seen Brown today, who starts him off with that characteristic sweeping off speed curve.
Well, you know what that means. This one's a fastball.
Does Solomon know that?
Evidently, he did, but comes up empty. Regardless as to what side you're cheering for, you almost want to scream it out there anyway, because you either want, as a Tufts fan, to make sure that they know, like, hey, take every first pitch, and then you know what's coming on the second one, or to scream to Trinity and say, dude, stop being so predictable.
Yeah, I think I could probably wager a guess as to what the Trinity conversation with their pitching staff will be about in the hotel room tonight. I think it'll be about predictability and tipping pitches.
I'm inclined to agree. The 0-2 to Solomon. Well outside.
And I feel like Brown needs to find a way to throw his first pitch off-speed pitch when he's looking for a put-out pitch. He has a different off-speed pitch, and it just doesn't locate.
1-2, he went back to that one. Solomon got a piece of it, fouled it back.
That time he was able to locate it. All Solomon could do was foul it back.
The 1-2 again. Brown off speed, Solomon foul back.
And
Brown really wants to get him with this off-speed pitch.
6th inning is time for my usual warning. If you come to a game at Git, don't park your car in the parking lot. You're gonna get hit.
1-2 fastball. Solomon keeps swinging, keeps fouling him back.
Great job there by Patrick Solomon. It's so difficult as a hitter after seeing 3 off-speed pitches to catch up to that fastball, but he's able to just flip those wrists around and foul it off.
Ball in the dirt.
Tried to get a
2-2.
chase.
See, does Brown go back off speed?
I think he goes fastball.
Well, regardless, I don't know why we're deferring to the first base umpire. I don't think Solomon's bat moved.
It did not.
Maybe you get lucky. First base umpire's not watching, just says, yeah, he went anyway. Oh. Was that not catcher's interference?
I thought so as well.
That sounded like a bat hit a glove.
It definitely did. Well, the only thing I can think of is maybe the ball was
hit the
foul
ball
tipped.
first. 3-2, Solomon swings, comes up empty. The throw to first, accurate to get Solomon. That's his 3rd strikeout of the day.
And a big win there for Ian Brown. You have to win those leverage at-bats. That one went 9 pitches, and in the end, went back to the off-speed to get Solomon a chase.
The center fielder, Fleckner, now the batter. Hitless since the first.
Scored in the first inning after singling.
Had that base hit, advanced to second on a wild pitch, stole third, and then scored on the McCullough sac fly. Since then, a strikeout and a flyout.
Hasn't had really any work defensively.
0-1 inside off speed. Fleckner goes the other way. I didn't see the first pitch. Was it a fastball?
Yeah.
So still going with that same 1-2 of whichever one I don't throw first, I'm throwing second.
Correct.
Good to know.
It's getting so predictable, I'd almost be willing to put some money down on it.
I mean, you got a 50-50 chance on pitch 1. And whichever one doesn't hit is hitting on the second. 1-2. Fleckner swings the off speed, another foul backwards.
That's really rare to see. Fleckner was late on the off speed.
Perhaps he's reading 1-2, 1-2 every single time. Fastball off speed, fastball off speed.
That would explain why he'd be late on a fastball. Wouldn't really explain why he's late on off speed.
Well, before it was another off speed.
I guess that makes
So he
sense.
was thinking it was a fastball. Then, you have that moment of hesitation. Regardless, back-to-back full counts have been issued by Brown.
Jumbo's doing a good job making him work for everything.
3-2 goes fastball. Fleckner comes up empty. Back-to-back strikeouts for Brown. He's been pretty impressive.
He has. I think it's fair to say he should have been the one starting this game.
He's got 4 strikeouts already. In the, what is this?
I think this is his.
7 batters faced.
He came in after 3 2/3. So yeah, this will be batter number 7 he's facing right now. Or I guess he's led on 2. So this is his 9th batter. He's recorded 6 outs.
Pretty solid outing. Jesse McCullough is now the batter. 1 for 2, had a base hit in the 4th. And 2 long balls to center field. This one tailing over to right. And it's Stern, not needing to move an inch. 1-2-3 inning for Brown and the Bantams. Tufts lead still holds to 3. Reed going back out on the mound after getting the double play to end the 6th.
I do not know how I feel about that. I mean, on one hand, he is your ace, and he has only really had one bad inning. On the other hand, there's been a noticeable decline in accuracy, a noticeable dip in velocity in the last couple innings, and you have a good enough bullpen that they should be able to get you 9 outs.
I think the logic behind this is just to look at the lineup and see who's up. Definitely agree. This is a very much a question mark in terms of the decision. But you have Matthews to lead things off, 1 for 2 with a double and a flyout. So that's probably the most intimidating hitter that comes up here for the Bantams. Because after that, you have Gaudio, who struck out looking twice, Stern, who's grounded out all 3 times that he's come up to bat, and Schnitzer, who's 1 for 3. Granted, 2 of those outs are flyouts. So maybe you're a little concerned about him as well. But then after that, you have Meth, who's 0 for 3, 2 groundouts and a strikeout.
I mean, I'm thinking, having made this decision, that Svagdis probably is going in with the mentality that Silas Reed has 3 batters. If it gets to Schnitzer, regardless of the situation, he's probably going to the pen. Because if it gets to Schnitzer, that means there's a runner on at least.
There is a right-handed hitter throwing in the bullpen. That was a lazy swing from Matthews. Very lucky that that was just a foul ball that had the potential to stay fair and just been a
Also, would have been an
half-swing groundout.
HBP, I think, if he just
Didn't
stood
swing.
in there and took it.
Definitely possible. 0-1. Hard hit foul. So it looks like Reed coming out for the 7th is just dialing the heat with every pitch, and the Bantams are very well prepared for it.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't like middle school. You're not going to just blow by fastballs on everyone. So we pitch number 95 coming up here for Silas Reed.
Yeah, he's got to be nearing the end of the tank.
You can see it just in the body language.
1-2. Regardless of the swing, gonna be called out is Matthews, and
No, actually, that was a called swinging strike by the home plate umpire.
oh, I missed the point. My bad. Okay. Thank you for saving my scorecard. I was gonna write a backwards K.
No, it was off the plate, but he did offer. Said the home plate umpire.
Back-to-back calls on that as well. Gaudio takes the swing behind 0-1.
There's been a 9-mile-an-hour decrease in Silas Reed's fastball from the beginning of the game to right now.
Of course, that was 96 pitches in the middle between. 1-1 hard hit. McCullough going to make a sliding attempt to grab that one. Gets it and over to Flavin for out number 2.
Yeah, super smooth from the sophomore. Came up, popped up like he was almost like Billy Hamilton, the way he used to like do those slides into home, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And just, I've never actually seen someone with such a smooth slide on turf. It's really hard to do. So props to Jesse for that.
I have not seen that either. I thought you were about to say with a as smooth a slide as Billy Hamilton, to which I would have had to have brought up the Trey Turner slide home.
Of course.
Which is perhaps the smoothest play I've ever seen. As hard hit ball from Stern goes to center field. 2 out, base runner now for the Bantams, and I yet again get baited by a Jumbo bringing out balls for being one of the coaches. But the unnamed Jumbo in the bullpen who's throwing is still wearing a brown shirt over their jersey, so I'm thinking Silas Reed might just get this inning regardless.
Kind of seems like it. Goes to off speed for the first time this inning. Finds the outside corner.
Schnitzer has not gotten on a base since the first. Stern, prolific base stealer. He's run and throw from Whitfield was right on target, almost on time. Half second too late. The catch from McCullough was right on the helmet from Stern, but if we had this in a replay format, I would say one frame too late, but that was bang bang.
That's as close as you're going to get. Runner had a ridiculous jump, and the fact that they were even able to get it competitive at second base is a testament to Malcolm Whitfield's arm and the great location he put that ball in.
Aiden Stern came into today leading the Bantams in terms of stolen bases with 16 on 19 attempts. Bumped that number up 17 to 20. 85% success rate. That one attempt to pick off at second. Better than his first attempt picking off at second.
You get the feeling that Silas is stalling to warm up the arms in the pen a little bit?
I'd believe it, but you are in the middle of an at-bat. It's not unheard of for a pitching change in the middle of the at-bat, as soft hit ball directly to McCullough will end the 7th.
That'll be the day, most likely, for Silas Reed. 7 innings, 5 hits given up, only 3 runs. So a really solid performance from the Jumbo's ace puts them in pole position as we head to the bottom of the 7th.
Stretch time coming up. Ian Brown still on the mound for the Bantams. Tufts with a 3-run lead, looking to tax him on. We'll be right back. Bottom of the 7th, Malachi Pena to lead things off for Tufts. Pena getting his second look against Brown. Brown came in specifically to face Pena. Got ahead 0-2. Pena ended up walking.
Yeah, Pena 2 for 2 on the day. Hits that one well, but it's going to be caught comfortably for out number 1.
Sawyer took a second to see how the ball was going to turn in the air. Very smart decision by him. Had he taken a step to his right, might not have been able to get all the way over to his left in time. First time Pena has not reached base safely.
Yeah, Malcolm's had himself a good day. This will bring up A.J. Lisco, the DH, 1 for 2 on the day with a walk.
Swings first pitch. 0-1 now the count to Lisco. Time being taken as the ball got away from the Bantams, got all the way back to the wall. So, member of the bullpen having to go run, chase that one down. Now we'll see the 0-1. Off speed, Lisco takes, strike 2.
That's a perfect pitch.
That first off-speed pitch being offered from Brown has been very good. It's the off-speed pitches to follow that haven't quite matched the same level. But we're still, in the same 2-pitch cycle of fastball off speed on the first 2 pitches no matter what. Lisco hits this one sky high, shallow left center field, and the shortstop Matthews can't bring it in. Looked like he had to extend further out. Would have liked to have seen either of the outfielders call Matthews off for that one, but the ball will fall. Ruled a very tricky hit in favor of A.J. Lisco.
Yeah, that's a ball that really Daniel Schnitzer needs to be calling off Matthews on. That ball is a little bit spinning towards left field. It's so much easier for a left fielder to come in and take that thing. He's got to be calling that ball from the moment he sees it go over Matthews' shoulder.
Yeah, it's the same concept that you can see oftentimes in volleyball, where you have 2 people, in this case 3, trying to get to a ball. And the rule in volleyball should be the same as it is here. Whoever's coming in has a better line of sight on that ball. You should always let them try and get that rather than someone who has to, turn over their shoulder to try and see the ball successfully.
Absolutely.
Off-speed pitch to Cooper Smith, not going to find the zone. 1-0 in his favor.
Flavin on deck. Small lead taken by Lisco.
Does the streak continue? Is it a fastball? It is not. It's been broken. Stop the count. 10 batters in, and the same 1-2 combo has finally ended. The discussion has come through. We have talked to Brown, said that he might have been giving away whatever his second pitch is going to be. Now it's a completely different ball game.
Absolutely. As he comes back off the off-speed with the fastball.
Doesn't matter, broke the streak. All that matters.
Lisco seems a little bit concerned with a possible pickoff, taking a very small lead.
Smith 2 for 3 on the day. Takes off speed for strike 2. That was one of those first two type of off-speed pitches from Brown.
Yeah, interested to see what Smith's sitting on here, because he's seen 3 off-speed pitches of the 4 in this at-bat.
Check in on Lisco. Not even close.
If I was Smith, I'd be sitting fastball only because it's been very rare that we've seen Ian Brown go back-to-back off-speed.
He's yet to get a strikeout on the off-speed pitch as well.
Almost had it there. Needed about half an inch more drop.
Now the count full. Flavin batting behind Smith. Already with an RBI double on the day. Putting 2 on. Potentially dangerous territory for the game to break open.
That could be 2.
Hit high and foul. Lisco needs to run back. Lisco took off as if hit and run sort of a situation, but took off not paying attention to where the ball might have gone. Was already at second base by the time that the first baseman, Frayne, realized that it was going to him.
Yeah, I don't hate that, though, because it's what you're taught. You're taught head down, and as you start to come into second base, pick up the third base coach for the instructions. Lisco did that and was able to get back to first base.
First baseman Connor Flavin now into bat. That one going to get away from Frayne. And while it may not have been on the hit and run, Lisco will make it to second base regardless.
And that's just sometimes the solution is worse than the problem. Ian Brown had been worried about Lisco taking second base, so we just gave it to him.
Runner in scoring position now for Connor Flavin. 1 for 3. Struck out looking his last at-bat against Brown.
Great off-speed pitch there.
Flavin thought he had it read too.
He was sitting off-speed. The problem is...
Just broke so much horizontally.
Yeah. Looked like a wiffle ball out there.
Can't be right. I didn't get hit by it.
It's because I wasn't throwing it.
0-1 from Flavin. Hard hit. Matthews with the backhand stop. High throw. Results in Flavin being safe. It was somewhat on target. Frayne had a chance to land on the bag and get Flavin out. It's a very nice stop. Just the throw. Little inaccurate. Puts 2 on for Malcolm Whitfield.
And now another high leverage situation. Runners on the corners. Conversation here between Ryan and his coaching staff. Jumbos might go pinch runner here. As obviously...
Small discussion happening.
This is a situation where you might think about the old get the runner trapped between first and second play to backdoor run.
Official score on the previous at-bat is an E6.
I do not like that call. And I'll tell you why I don't like that call. Yeah, it was a bad throw, but it was a ridiculous play by Matthews to get to that ball on his backhand before it. It's supposed to be an error if it's not a play you're reasonably expected to make. That is not a play he was reasonably expected to make.
Fair enough. Regardless, Malcolm Whitfield will step in, 2 for 3 on the day. Had that home run back in the second, followed up with a RBI base hit in the third. First pitch swinging here in the seventh, comes up empty.
Yeah, Whitfield unlucky there that he made contact, as that's the fourth time today that Trinity has had a mound visit in the middle of an at-bat.
I wonder if this is potentially just something in the mechanics that we just saw from Brown. Maybe
Tipping. I wonder if he's tipping and they don't want to allow Flavin to get second.
I wasn't thinking tipping so much as like a tweaked elbow. Like coming around, maybe just something mechanically looked a little off. There is a bantam up and throwing, though not hard, so maybe it's just an injury check-in?
I feel like if it was an injury check-in, you'd wait till in between batters.
Maybe.
Like, unless he's, like, screaming in pain.
Yeah. My concern was something like, elbow-related.
Yeah, we are seeing a lot of pitchers these days go have Tommy John do the high velocity, high spin rate, weird elbow positions on release.
Yeah, that's kind of just where my head was thinking as to why you need to check in there. Although with runners on the corner, maybe Tufts looks to double steal.
That'd be something.
This ball hit Gaudio, able to find the mark of Frayne, and those two runners on the corners get stranded. It's yet another 0 put on the board in relief from Ian Brown. Silas Reed is back out there.
Wow. I mean, you know the old phrase, beating a dead horse? Kind of feels like what they're doing with Silas Reed. He's thrown 104 pitches, and they're sending him out for the 8th.
The horse is not quite dead, but maybe dying?
Yeah. Either way, his arm cannot be feeling good.
I mean, we can see from these warm-up pitches, these are
those things
substantially less
Those
velocity.
things look like my pitches, and I was not a pitcher.
There's finally a Jumbo in the bullpen who is throwing hard, jersey exposed. So
I mean,
it might just be a super, super short leash just to have Reed get the at-bat against Meth, because he's had Meth's number all day.
okay, I can buy that.
It might just be that, because after that you have Frayne.
The
Frayne,
problem I
who he
have
hit
with
by
that,
a pitch and then had the hard hit single.
the problem I have with that rationale is just statistics and regression to the mean. Meth is a phenomenal hitter, and giving him a 4th at-bat against Silas Reed feels like a mistake.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
I mean, we thought it was a
Call
mistake
it
to bring him out for the
feast-or-famine
7th.
move. The 7th was a little bit more understandable. The 8th is kind of, hey, coach, you got other guys in the bullpen, but Reed, oh, that's not a strike?
No,
That's so
that
awkward.
one bounced in.
That's so awkward. I thought, I just saw the end position of Whitfield's frame.
No, he did a great job framing it. Unfortunately, it was after the ball bounced in.
2 pitches, 2 balls. Meth now ahead on Reed. Reed going fastballs all the way. Fleischer off the hops. Strong throw to Flavin, and it's the 3rd time today Meth has grounded out to the shortstop. And it appears my theory is also incorrect. Coach Svagdis making no moves whatsoever.
Yeah, I think
So
Svagdis
Reed
is
gets
going,
framed too.
I think Svagdis is going with you're throwing till your arm falls off, which
Looks like Robbie Gray is the man in the bullpen for Tufts.
that would be nice. Robbie Gray, well, he makes it very entertaining with a lot of velocity. And Silas Reed, like, you can just see, does not have much left. Has not really put a pitch in the strike zone. That one that Meth swung at wasn't really a strike.
2-0, Frayne, another grounder. High hop, but Solomon's got it. Strong throw again. Back-to-back 2-0 grounders for Reed. And just like that, there's 2 outs in the 8th. The batter now, Sawyer, is 0 for 3 on the day.
So maybe Reed will make it through 8.
Does he dare C9?
If he sees the mound in the 9th inning, I might go have a talk with Coach Sfagdis myself.
First pitch from Reed. Still with the healthy diet of fastballs. Another ball. 1-0. High for ball 2. So
like
what are we
this.
thinking? 6-3, 5-3, 4-3, 3-U,
Give
1-3?
Give me a 4-3. I feel like Jesse needs some work.
All right, 2-0. Sky high.
Might be a
Potentially
play.
in play. Flavin looks like he's got it.
Oh!
Very close. Just off of the corner of the top of the visiting bullpen. Or
Jordan,
dugout. Yep.
that was behind the netting.
That was behind the netting?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well,
Had me fooled too, but
he looked like he had it. Like,
he did.
He had it judged in the netting.
I
And
think
with the
he might
wind,
have actually caught
blowing out and it like pushing the netting
What's
backwards,
the ruling
I
if
thought
he
maybe
catches
like,
it through the netting?
Port coming in is it doesn't count.
Silas Reed now 1 strike away from an 8th inning.
That would be perhaps the worst thing that could have happened if Flavin caught it on the other side of the net. He has a home run ruled a double. He has a caught ball in foul territory ruled doesn't count. 2-2 from Reed to Sawyer. Went to off speed for the first time this inning. Sawyer makes some contact.
Yeah, I don't think we're seeing another off speed here. I'm guessing this is high and inside, trying to get a chase.
2-2. High and outside, but gets him swinging regardless. You got it right. Got the chase. Another strikeout for Reed as he completes 8 strong innings. And the bullpen man for Tufts is no longer throwing, so
I think that probably means Silas's day is actually done this time. We won't know for sure, though, until the top of the 9th. In the meantime, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, it'll be the bottom of the 8th. Jumbo's looking to add some insurance.
bottom of the 8th. It'll be the last Jumbo to get his 4th at-bat of the day. Ozzie Fleischer, Solomon, and then Fleckner following behind. But the Ian Brown show continues. First pitch swinging is Fleischer. This one just barely out of the infield. No, it's coming back in. Gaudio, very nice job to track it.
That ball actually wasn't coming back in. They just lost that thing in the sun, and I can't blame them because that sun went from non-existent to in absolutely everyone's eyes in the span of about 30 seconds in between innings.
Welcome to New England. Weather sucks. It's the middle of April, and it's still 50 degrees. Patrick Solomon, 0 for 4 on the day, 3 strikeouts to his name. The only Jumbo not to record a hit. Hard hit ball to short, throw in time. And it's a rough 0 for 5 day for Patrick Solomon.
It's hard to remember as Henry Fleckner comes up for his 5th at-bat. There was a point where this was a batter's clinic. The Jumbos had 10 hits through 3 innings. They have had 2 in the last 4 2/3.
Fleckner might look to change that number as this ball falls in front of Schnitzer in left. So make it 3 and 4 2/3. Still less than a hit an inning, however, which is well below the pace the Jumbos initially had set in this game.
And now an interesting situation with the speedy Fleckner on first. McCullough, it's the exact situation we saw in the first inning. Jumbos didn't send Fleckner then. Ball bounced. Fleckner then stole third, and McCullough drove him home.
Fleckner is leaning towards second, trying to demand the attention from Brown. He will get it. Gets back to first in time.
Fleckner remembers last inning and what happened with Lisco. I think he's trying to draw a throw that could potentially go down the right field line because with his speed, anything that gets down that line could mean third base.
First pitch to McCullough. Hits him.
And that's not what you want to do if you're Ian Brown, because now you've put 2 runners on base, including 1 in scoring position for the hottest hitter this side of the Mystic River in Malachi Pena.
Of course, his last at-bat he had against Brown, he did fly out. So the battle is even. 1 in favor of Pena when he walked in his first at-bat against Brown, and then the fly-out we just mentioned. But if you look before that, that's where things get dangerous. The double and the home run are definitely 2 very notable hits for Tufts today. Pena gets the fastball first. It's a sharp grounder. Matthews able to get it. The one-legged throw beats Pena to first. And just like that, Brown, 4 1/3 innings of relief, no runs allowed. And
come on, you cannot make that choice. I'm sorry.
I'm taking a quick look at the clock here. It's 5:10. Classes are still in session. Maybe that's where the bullpen has gone today.
Jordan, do you know what the definition of insanity is?
130 pitches, complete game for Silas Reed.
Well, that's one. The other one is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. I don't know what Svagdis expects from Silas Reed, but he does not have his velocity.
Well, he's expecting the same result, because the previous 2 innings where we've said, okay, his day should be nearing its end, he's come in and put up zeros.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I will argue that maybe one of these hard-hit balls might actually find some green this inning.
Well, there are some guys in the bullpen loose and ready to go just in case. Maybe it's the same situation we had said would happen in the 7th inning.
Or the 8th.
Where he's in to get Bernstein, and then when Ryan comes up to bat, you make the switch. It's confirmed it is the guy who has settled into that closing role for the Jumbos, Robbie Gray, in the pen. Bernstein up to bat. First pitch, good for a strike from Reed.
And honestly, I think that's probably the biggest explanation, is that Svagdis does not want to use Robbie Gray today. He wants to save him for tomorrow, which I get. But at the same time, you got 12 pitchers in that bullpen. It does not have to be Robbie Gray.
True. Could see Jacob Lapp. Could see Biskupiak. There are plenty of arms he could go to. But Reed, the fastball keeps finding the zone. There's no reason why he can't go the distance.
Does not find the zone that time. Runs the count 2-2. It
was 1-2. He had a pitch to give.
Absolutely. It's only, pitch number 120?
2-2. Reed high again, count full. Perhaps if he walks the batter, that's the sign. Okay. Bring in the closer. Up the velocity by a good 13 miles per hour. As that pitch goes inside from Reed. Got ahead. 1-2. But lets Bernstein walk. And now
there we go.
We're getting a check-in.
I think he motioned to the pen.
Did a little finger twirl.
But
Gray threw.
It looks like they're sticking with Silas
really
for at least one more.
But we got.
Silas has not taken the mound yet. I wonder if he's just allowing Gray to get 1 or 2 more warm-up pitches in here.
I think Tufts might be getting bailed out slightly, as we do have a change coming in for the Bantams. They're making a substitution in the runners. Zach McBride is now pinch running at first for Bernstein. First pitch from Reed nearly hits Ryan. Ryan's claiming it hit him, but
So
I
are
think
the
that's-
Trinity fans.
I think that's one of those, the jersey's popping out and it whiffs past the jersey and the jersey moves, because
Yeah.
that ball didn't lose an ounce of velocity as it came through. So I kind of like the no call. Definitely questionable to say the least, but Reed is struggling to find the zone.
I mean, I would too. He's about to throw his 125th pitch of the day.
Ryan grounded into a double play his last at bat. 2-0, hard hit. That one's through the gap. McBride will settle in at second, and there are 2 on, no outs. Tying run brought to the plate in another. Oh, excuse me, I was looking at the wrong spot in my scorebook. It's Matthews, the shortstop, up to bat.
And they're leaving Silas Reed in. At this point, I'm at a loss for words.
Matthews, one for 3 on the day. Had a double back in the 4th.
Whitfield having a conversation with his pitcher.
Perhaps this is buying time.
I mean, I
But
can't
Coach,
imagine
Coach
how you.
Fagdus is nowhere to be seen.
No, he's nowhere to be seen, and
Oh,
now
nope,
he's going
he's
to go.
here.
So they're
Okay.
buying time. I don't know why Robbie Gray hasn't been ready, because you knew you were going to need him for about an inning and a half now.
I'm thinking he was ready. They just still said, let's get somebody else going. But that is Robbie Gray walking out of the bullpen. So 2 on, no out. Silas Reed, 8 strong innings, but he's going to need some assistance from Gray in order to lock this one down.
Robbie Gray coming in looking for a save here for the Bows. Gray has had himself quite a good year. A 4.15 ERA, 127 WHIP, 7 appearances. 2 of them have come with successful saves. Has only given up 8 hits in 8 2/3 innings worked, and only 4 earned runs.
And if you could see from that first warm-up pitch he threw, granted it was not with a pitching motion, but just to throw the ball. Gray's game, it's all about the heat.
I honestly wonder if there is a 20-mile-an-hour difference between what Reed was throwing when he left the field and what Gray is going to throw.
Probably close. I don't know if we're getting to 20, because it looked like Reed was still in the 80s.
I don't know about that. It looked. I was getting like high 70s vibes.
20 faster would mean he's throwing close to 100.
I know Robbie's hit 96 on the gun this year, so it is
It is possible.
It's very possible that there was a pitch from Silas Reed in there that was hitting 75, 76.
And then we'll get a 20-mile-per-hour jump. Definitely there. Wonder if Whitfield has a second glove he can switch to with a little bit more padding in there.
Well, I'm imagining that first glove is probably pretty good, considering it had to deal with the velocity of Silas Reed back when he had his full arm strength.
True. Just got to embellish it, build up the story. It's a hard-throwing, fastball-oriented guy.
All right, I got a story for you. Robbie Gray, who has not seen the mound in 2 weeks, comes in here with the tying run at the plate and no outs in the 9th.
Well, yeah, but we already talked about that. Got to build a second story.
I think we focus on the main story because, if the Jumbos lose this game, their home season on JumboCast is done.
Well, they can still win the 2 tomorrow. We get those games regardless. Those are home games on JumboCast.
We're
You're
not
gonna be
working
there
those. No.
I thought you said you were going to be there tomorrow. My mistake.
Those will be available on the Pack Network.
First pitch, fastball, ball 1.
Matthews digs in here, looking to play the hero role. No team has scored since the top of the 4th.
1-0. Another fastball, good for strike. Behind Matthews, you have Gaudio, 0 for 3 on the day, and then Stern behind him, 1 for 4.
So this is the part of the lineup you'd love Robbie Gray to get to see.
1-1 foul back. Matthews does have one strikeout on the day, struck out in the 7th against Reed on a 1-2 pitch.
Gray in the stretch.
Dialing up the numbers on the velocity, but Matthews is still there with him. Not quite on the timing yet, but enough to foul it back until he finds just the right swing to take. We'll do the 1-2 again. Takes. Defer to first.
Oh.
Matthews did not go.
Robbie Gray is saying something to the umpire. He thought it was strike 3.
The crowd started cheering as if it were as well. But 2-2. Well outside, count now full. You do, technically speaking, have a base to give, but that puts the go-ahead run at bat.
A lot of Jumbo fans with a knot in their stomach right now.
3-2, soft grounder. McCullough dives, knocks that one away. That'll give the availability to runners to turn and extend even further. Fleckner not going to have a play to be made at third. The pinch runner McBride comes around to score. It looked for a second like a double play. It ends up being 2 runners left on the bases on the corner, and the Jumbo lead cut down to 2.
Yeah. And, I mean, for Silas Reed, at least a small bright side, that run will not be an earned run. So he will have 3 earned runs, is still responsible for the runner on third.
I believe the ruling there was a hit.
Did they call that a hit?
Mhm.
Wow, okay. Then my apologies, that is an earned run.
The runner on third earned against him as well. If the runner does come home, Gaudio behind 0-1.
You got to get Gaudio here because it sets up the double play to end the game. Good stop there from Whitfield.
This is seemingly the same sort of velocity situation that we saw with Griffin way back in the first and second innings, where when the fastball was going faster and faster, the control down and down. Check in with Matthews at first from Gray.
That's a good idea. What you do not want is Matthews getting to second base, taking away the double play.
Hard hit liner right to Fleischer. He has a play to be made at first, and I think he got it in time. He did. Ozzie Fleischer, strong throw. Matthews not paying enough attention to the ball. He gets doubled up at first, and just like that, with no outs and 2 on the corners, it's just 1 runner at third and 2 outs on the board. Gray just needs to get 1 more to put this one in the books.
Yeah, Ozzie Fleischer showing why he's the reigning DPOY. No hesitation. Caught the ball, immediately fired to first. And the Jumbos 1 out away from walking out of here with a victory.
Stern had a base hit and then stole second in his last at-bat in the 7th. But aside from that, it's 3 grounders. Ahead 1-0 against Gray, make it 2-0. And a walk would put the Bantams in a very similar situation. They just went from having the go-ahead run at home plate. Now it's just a tying run. So you do have a little bit more room to breathe comfortably if you are Tufts.
And that's allowing Robbie Gray to attack Stern right now.
This ball hit hard to left field. It's definitely in foul territory. Smith cutting over, diving, almost had the snow cone. It looked like it was over for a moment and a half. Smith definitely beat the ball to the ground, but the collision with the ground knocked that ball out. That was almost magical.
Inches from perfection for Cooper Smith. Now Robbie Gray is 1 strike away.
Taking cold strike 3. Gray strikes him out, and that's the game. Reed bends in the 9th, but the Jumbos don't break. They hold on after one comes home. 2-run padding enough to keep this one going. Gray gets his strikeout. Tufts puts 1 win on the board. And they only need 1 more tomorrow to preserve that consistent NESCAC winning record streak.
Yeah, they do. A huge win here for the Bows. As we'll take a quick look here at the NESCAC standings, see if we get an update from Waterville in the Bowdoin game. That one, we can get a quick score update for you momentarily. I mean, just a great performance here for the Jumbos, able to do what they needed to in the first 3 innings, give themselves a 6-run lead. They almost blew it down the end. Some questionable decision-making from Paul Sfagdis. I think, looking back, 7th inning, great choice to keep Reed in. 8th inning, all right choice. 9th inning, Sfagdis tried to play a little too much roulette and got lucky that he didn't end up hitting a 0. In the end, the Jumbos able to survive, will get themselves back to 500, will go back to the 2nd spot in the NESCAC East, and have a chance tomorrow to clinch themselves a postseason berth with a win.
2 games tomorrow will be on the PAC network, not here on JumboCast, but it is a doubleheader, 1 7-inning, 1 9-inning game between Tufts and Trinity with a lot of playoff implications on the line. Final score here at the GIT, 6-4. From all of us here at JumboCast, we'd like to thank you for tuning into today. And as always, stay home safely.